G'day, folks. It's me, Greg. It's earlier in the day than usual. It's 11 a.m. instead of 12 a.m. 12 a.m., 12 p.m. Um, we're doing lunch and learn. It's brunch and learn today. So I have to go somewhere. But that doesn't matter. We'll still do what we need to do. And that is we're going to do some profit and loss, budget and forecasting, fabric goodness. We're still on budget and forecasting. We're never giving up until we have the ultimate P&L. Forecasted it, budgeted it, all in fabric with everybody can do all the things they want. The finance team are happy, the data team are happy, the governance team are happy, everybody's happy. That's what we want to do. So I'm making P&Ls. Welcome to those of you that have just joined. We're just getting started, so you've got perfect timing. Is it a 1 hour session today or two? It's just a 1 hour session. Unfortunately, I do have things to do, but luckily, I don't have to necessarily be there immediately after 1 hour, so I can continue on for a little while. I am thinking of doing longer sessions. If you're interested in that, let me know. I was just going to stream it on like YouTube and Twitch and LinkedIn and just see if people wanted to just join while I built ridiculous things in Fabric. If you're interested in that, let me know. That'd be cool. But yeah, if that's too boring and you just want to spend an hour looking at Fabric, then that's okay too. All right, we have a lovely green forest for a background today, which we like. I'm going to close my Outlook window because I don't think that would be appropriate for today. Here is our ingestion. If you remember last week, if you're new, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you're new. Number 1 in the chat if you're brand new. And then we'll tell you how to get to understand what's happening because there's a lot going on. Last time we created these multiple ERP ingestion pipeline businesses, which is great. That seemed to work. We had one problem where Australia had a different column. Dun, dun, dun. We need to fix that today. And we need to bring all of this data together into the silver layer in our workspace for Aardvark Finance. Here's Aardvark Finance. We've got our one pipeline. You can see it's been synced. Oh, my zoom it. Zoom it every time. I must shut down my machine and not have it automatically. I know it says that the first time and then I'm allowed to do it. I don't know what it is about Windows not liking Zoom it, but it doesn't like Zoom it. Wait, it's back. It's working. Look, we created a pipeline. It's synced to our GitHub repository. If you're wondering what a GitHub repository is, then you will need to watch the earlier sessions because that's what we've been doing. There's no ones in the chat. Maybe you're all experienced now. That's awesome. I can talk about advanced concepts. Anyway, so we created a pipeline, but now we need another pipeline to consolidate our stuff. And then we need another pipeline to orchestrate the pipelines. So we're going to do that today. We're also going to look at what does our final output, what should it look like? Because I've been collecting P&Ls. I've been collecting income statements. I want to make like the prettiest one that was ever made. And I don't think these count yet. This is nice. I like this one. Is that zoomable? Let's zoom a bit. That's nice. This is like the IBCS stuff that we were talking about. You can see it says created with Zebra BI here at the bottom. So this is the Zebra BI one. It's kind of nice. There's this one. I've noticed there's two types of P&L or income statement or whatever we want to call it. Or one of them is this style, and this could be monthly or daily or yearly, right? So each one of these is a time period. So it's like a fiscal P&L. This is kind of what I am used to seeing, to be honest. And then there's this style of one. No, that's the same style. Let's find another style. Well, this style of one, which also has previous years. In this case, it's got previous year, but sometimes it has budget and actual. I'm sure I've got one here somewhere. Here, this style of one, I mean. So now it's got, instead of years across the top, it's got different metrics. So it's got previous year, delta previous year. So that's a little delta symbol if you're wondering what that triangle is. So that's the difference between the previous year. This is the difference between the previous year percentage. This is the actual. This is the delta PL. I'm not sure what L stands for. Tell me what if you know what L is. from the previous, I don't know. What does L stand for in a PL? Actual budget? No, I don't know. We should look that up. And then I collected some various Power BI reports. This is one of them. It's an income statement. And you can see this is a year-wise one. Oh, sorry, it's a month-wise, I should say. Sorry, my arrows, I've forgotten how to do arrows. So these are all months. But then let's open some others. Is that income statement, profit and loss? Yes. So this is income statement demo. This is profit and loss.pbix. What do they look like?
Zebra BI's page says PL is for plan.
Plan. Thank you, Shelley, for looking that up. PL is for plan. That's interesting. Okay, so you've got, is plan the same as forecast? No, it's not. See, this is the thing, is that we need to think about all of these things. If we want to make the world's greatest ever profit and loss, we need to have the actual, the budget, the planned activity against the budget, and the forecast. So that's 4 measures now that we need to think about. This is a dummy data, so don't panic, everybody. This is dummy data, but this is another example that we built once. Pretty cool. So similar kind of thing. Anyway, so there's lots of, here's another dummy data one, similar kind of thing. Not sure about the yellow. And then this is actual budget versus budget percentage, you know. So it's all the same kind of stuff presented lots of different ways. So we got to figure out how to make the coolest one ever. It's probably going to look real cool like this, except also have really cool measures and also be really flexible. Because there's lots of different functionality we want to put into it. Like this one I like because you can change the type of report. It's really cool. It's really cool, man. Where do I do it? Can I put it in filters? Is the report already here? Scenario. Actual budget forecast? No. Report heading. No. How do I change its statement format? No, I think it's statement. It's not called report, it's called statement. Yeah. How do I put it here? The report is P&L. Here it is. So I can change it to like an EBITDA report or a cash flow report, but we've got two we've also got 2 filters happening. That's why they were disappearing. Oh, look at that. It doubled up somehow. I've broken it. That's cool. Oh, here we go. Here's the different reports. So I can click on that. That's a balance sheet. Even though this says profit and loss statement, that's a balance sheet now. And then you click on this and it's a balance sheet of a different type. Then you click on this and it's a cash flow statement, but it's not working. This is an EBITDA report. EBITDA, and then this is just a regular P&L. So I like that. I want to do that functionality as well. So anyway, we've got lots to think about from a how to build the best ever P&L perspective, but we have to get the data first, and then we have to make the data, do the forecast, get the plan, get the budget, and all those things. So that's what we're kind of up to. And eventually we'll make something pretty. Cool equals RGB light. All right, nice. Okay, we're gonna have RGB lights in there somehow. Right. So our current challenge is we need to ingest those 5 tables. We're gonna consolidate them into a single table. And if you remember from last time, I was wondering about whether we should do this in bronze or we should do it in silver. And then I think I decided I was going to do it in silver. So we're going to create a silver lake house because we don't have one yet. We've only got a bronze lake house. Here is our bronze lake house. So we now need a silver lake house to go in our data set. This brings me to the conversation of why are you creating another lake house, Greg? And why don't we just put everything in the same lake house? And that's a good question. I was reading a Reddit post about this just the other day. People happened to be talking about it. They were saying, "What? Hey, should I create a single lake house and have bronze, silver, gold, etc., as separate folders inside my lake house?" So you could like organize it like this kind of way, I guess. Can you create a folder in here? No. So how do you organize it, right? Now, and this is what people were saying. They were saying, well, if we had schema names like you do in in um in like SQL and stuff, you could have the same. That's what they do in data warehousing these days. Like now, right? You've got a data warehouse, and then if you've got a landing zone, then you have a landing schema, and then you have your regular schema or whatever, right? So you have different schemas, and that denotes where the different tables live. But that's not supported 100% yet in Fabric, although schema naming is coming to Fabric. I don't think it's in my version, but I think I've seen it in preview versions. And so schema naming is a thing. So schema naming you could potentially do. And then that means, well, why do we need to do that? I'm just muting everybody else. Sorry about that. If you just got muted and you wanted to talk. So we could add schemas, but generally speaking, and then it's about access control, right? How do we manage access control to the various tables? And I think you can manage a certain amount of access control to different tables, although I'm not sure I know exactly how to do that right now. I'm gonna have to look that up. So yeah, access control. I kind of like having separate, I like modularity. I'm a big fan of modularity. I like things to be in their own little space and then have your own special thing. And then the extreme version of this, which I don't agree with, is do you create a separate workspace? So then you would have Aardvark Finance Bronze Dev and Aardvark Finance Silver Dev, Aardvark Finance Gold Dev. And I think that's a step too far because then you've got Dev Test Prod. So then you've got Aardvark Finance Gold Test, Aardvark Finance Gold Prod, Aardvark Finance Gold Dev. So there's 3, and then that means you get 9 workspaces, and it just feels like it's horrible. Okay, so we're going to create an extra lakehouse, but we're going to leave the lakehouse in the same workspace. That's my current thinking on it. If you've got a different idea, let me know. Talk about it. Let's talk about this situation and let me know what you think. But we're going to create a lakehouse. I don't have lakehouse here because I'm in Power BI mode, not in data engineering mode. I could just say more though, and it'll take me to the right spot. We want to make a lakehouse. This is a lakehouse. Store big data for cleaning, querying, reporting, and sharing. There was a comment in that Reddit actually, which was interesting. It said someone was saying that they have a problem with this being a lakehouse because they think that one lake is the lakehouse, and this is more like a lake room. Which I think is interesting too. All right. Aardvark _ finance, capital F finance. We want to be careful with our naming convention, _ I'm not making, what is it? Bronze, silver. Oh my God, have I spelt it right? Have I done the same naming convention? I can't see my other ones. Okay, I'm going to cancel and I'll copy this and then cancel. Look, schemas. I told you it was coming. Okay. What did I call it? Yeah, oh, there it was. Aardvark _ finance _ bronze, all capitals. So it's going to be Aardvark finance silver. I was right, but I wanted to be sure. Okay, try again. New. Let's go to data engineering mode because that's what we're doing. We're going to create a new lakehouse. We're going to call it Aardvark finance silver. Should I turn this on? Should we check it out? Let's check it out. Schemas let you manage and reference objects in your lakehouse more easily. You can use default schema to automatically fill in file paths when referencing a data object in the code. Okay, let's turn on schemas. We have a look at it. Because users like me would explore bronze and silver tables when I only look at gold. That's right. That's why access control is an issue. So being able to control access away from those pesky users. So from that perspective, I am not against creating a separate workspace for bronze only because bronze is raw data and you can then create. See, this is where the bronze versus a landing zone, argument comes in. Oh, it's so annoying. I did read some stuff around what the official well-architected framework recommends for analytics. There's like a cloud solutions well-architected framework for analytics thing in Microsoft. I'll find the link for you. You can check it out. And they say the wise the wise people of Microsoft. They talk about, I'm moving my whiteboard over here in case I've got the wrong whiteboard up, but it doesn't look like I do. All right, here we go. Lunch and Learn. The Lunch and Learn whiteboard's coming out, folks. Look at all these pictures we've drawn. Oh my God, so messy. All right. What is it? How can I? Okay, go to the little hand. I want to point out that I fixed the German flag. All right, that's very important to me. Let's go to this blank area down here. Okay, so they were saying architecture-wise, creating analytics, you've got this section, and then this is your centralized data area. Centralized. We'll call it Data Central. Oh man, that's the name of a product I used to use. All right, Data Central. It brings back bad memories. So you have a Data Central, and then each domain has their own data stuff. Data stuff. Such a good drawer. Okay, and then this is finance, this is HR, and this is operations. So that's what I mean by a domain. Okay, etc., etc. And then, so these guys have bronze, silver, gold here, BSG. Do they have gold in Data Central? I don't know, but they certainly will have bronze and probably maybe some silver. And then it goes into here, and then this is where the finance people have their bronze, silver, gold for all their stuff. And then anything finance specific just goes directly into the finance thing. But anything that's centralized, like our main source systems, goes into Data Central location here from an architecture perspective. That kind of makes sense because so this is like you think of this as like your data warehouse of the modern kind, like the way that a lot of people do it. And then this is essentially how people are using kind of Power BI now, right? Is that they have their own little domain where they create Power BI stuff. So if we were to follow this architecture, then I would create a workspace here for this Data Central. And then all that bronze source system load would come into our centralized data here, and then we'd move it into things. So we might expand out to that. Now, we're a small business right now. Actually, it's got like multiple departments and multiple geographies, so they're not that small, but let's just start with a single workspace, and then maybe we'll graduate to the larger workspace later. But I thought that was interesting. Cloud Adoption Framework, Architectures Overview. That's exactly probably it. Shelley, nice work. Physical architectures. Now there's one for, this is the one for Azure about analytics, cloud scale analytics. Exactly. Serve data as a product rather than a byproduct. Serve a ecosystem of data products. It's really cool. I've just been started to go through this. I will see if I can find the overall architecture that I was just drawing. Build an initial strategy. I'm just quickly running through here. Define a plan. No, I can't remember. It's probably, Azure Landing Zones. This is it. I'm sure of it. The data management landing zone. So they have this concept of landing zones. And then you put all so you have a data management landing zone, and then each domain has their own landing zone as well. What was I calling it? Data Central. But they have this concept of landing zone now. And a landing zone isn't just like Fabric by itself. This could be like Azure Synapse Analytics. It could be AI. It could be all sorts of stuff. So all the different Azure services that support your centralized data platform live in this management landing zone. And then your individual finance team might have their own landing zone that do their own stuff. Okay, now I'm talking the correct thing. Thank you, Shelley. Appreciate that link. And here it is. See how it says DBO now? Now, if you're a database person, you're like, oh, I know what this is. This is a schema name. And so now we have schemas that we can create inside things. So we might create a land schema like we used to do, etc., etc. Okay, so that's schemas in Lakehouses. Oh, look at that. We learned something. We learned about schemas. All right, now we got to figure out what to do next. let's go back to our main workspace and think about this. Now we've got two lake houses, an uncommitted lake house because we haven't synced it to our Git repository just yet. We've got our data pipeline, which is nicely synced, and then these data flows that don't work yet, but we'll worry about those later. The question I have to myself is, do I want to run a data flow or do I want to run a pipeline for my Silver, this Silver task? Really want to use a data flow because I love data flows. They're so easy. Let's do data flows for fun. And then we can always change it to something else later. Turn it into a notebook. So I've probably spoken about this before, but the reason why data flows are the worst choice is because they're very expensive from a CU consumption point of view. They're going to use a lot of consumption, but they're so easy to build and they're fun and it's Power Query and I love Power Query. If you do the same thing in a notebook, very, very efficient, but you have to write Python code. So, but from a CU perspective, notebooks seem to be at this stage much, much more efficient than data flows for doing data transformation. But my approach to this is I like to create the data flow first, so I get the logic down because it's way easier to do the logic in Power Query, and then we can convert it to a notebook later using, you guessed it, ChatGPT. All right, and it's really good at it. It's really good at it. So we love that. We love that. All right, so we're going to create a couple of data. We're going to create a single data flow. It's going to take the data we ingested, consolidate it, put it into the Silver Lakehouse. That is a plan. That's our current plan. Let's commit our Lakehouse to source control so that we've got it backed up. Yes, I would like to commit it. And now my thing is I created the Silver Lakehouse. Less than 3. Less than 3. All right, commit. Okay, we've committed that. We're committed. We're now committed to having a Silver Lakehouse. Let us create the data flow. Now we already have a data flow called consolidate budgets. This isn't consolidating the budget though. This is consolidating the ERP extract. So we're going to create a new one. This is forecast ingest. No, this says ingest calcs and KPIs. No, we're not up to that yet. All right, new data flow, Gen 2. Bam. Clickety clack. Data flow 1. I seem to remember that I can rename at the top here if I click on this. All right, so this is going to be called consolidate. Okay, we should call it something, the correct name. So what are we actually doing here? We're consolidating the ERP extracts and we're transforming and we're standardizing. Okay, I'm going to call it standardize. Standardize ERP extracts. I should have a proper naming convention for this. Also, data flow cannot be empty or white space. Yeah. Can I use STD for standardize or does that not make sense? Let's call it ERP all caps _ extracts _ standardize with an S because we're Australian. Okay. That way, if we sort it, it'll be all the ERP extract stuff will be in the same spot. I think that's okay. Right, so we're going to get some data. The data is going to come from our lovely, lovely Lakehouse. One Lake Data Hub. Sure, that'll do. Aardvark Bronze in dev. Yep. Connecting. How many people here? 20 people. Awesome. Thanks for joining me for brunch. I hope you've got a coffee. Okay, so here's all of our different things. Look at all this crap that gets built. And these are the things we actually brought in. So these are the tables we created. SAP _ general ledger _ Oz _ Canada, France, Germany, USA. So we're bringing all 5 of these guys in. Create. Now you could argue that I should bring these into silver first, like standardize them all into silver first and then consolidate them, but we're going to do it all in one step here because why not? So the first problem that I have is that Canada, if we look at Canada here, clean Canada. So Canada has a fiscal year and month. Australia has a date. It's the only problem. It's literally everything else is exactly the same. So we're going to turn our date into a month and year column. Fiscal year and month is what we need. Fiscal year and month, not, okay, so now it's a bit trickier because we need to make sure we get the correct offset. So how do we create a fiscal year column? We can go add column and then we go date. Oh, what? Create a new date from the date value. That's a text column. Oh, first we get, okay, so we should do our column types. Text. I remember I made them different. I made them all text in bronze, didn't I? Okay, so now we're going to actually care about the types. So all of these are text. This is a currency. And this is a date. Okay, so that's good. Oh, that says error. We'll fix it. This is a currency. This is a whole number because it's a year. Although it's not going to be aggregated, but we'll store it as a number for now. This is a whole number as well. Okay, I'll just quickly fix those up for the other tables. France, hello France. Currency, whole number, whole number. What's everybody's view on this? I want to know your view. Should I store my year as a text or a whole number? Go. And why? And the reason why.
Text means you don't have to worry about a comma being inserted between the 1,000 and the 100.
Yep. Excellent point. Any other thoughts? Any other arguments for whole number? Why am I changing it to whole number?
Then again, I've also set up columns where I calculate the offset from the current year, month, whatever. So that requires doing math on the year column.
Year plus one. Yep. That makes sense too, doesn't it? Yeah, I store it as whole number. So it's weird, right? Because if you store it as a whole number, also Power BI will try to aggregate it when you put it into a table, right? It'll go, oh, let's add up all the years. If you put 2020, 2021, 2022, it's going to give you 6,060, whatever. So that's bad. So you have to turn off aggregations in Power BI if you store it as a whole number. But this is a fact table, and so I'm storing it as a whole number in the fact table because I just like it to be stored efficiently, and whole numbers are stored more efficiently than text, although it's probably marginal given that the numbers are text and numbers. And anyway, that's my current thinking. If you've got a reason why, someone's got a blog post suggesting naming pattern for fabric. Oh my God, I'm going to look at that in a sec. Sorry to get distracted. Okay, so we had an error with the first one, but everything else, that's my justification for the whole number anyway. I should write down the. Okay. I'm trying to whole number. All right. We've got a problem. Our date doesn't work. Anyone want to speculate why our date's not working? We couldn't parse the input provided as a date because it looks like this. That looks like a date to me, but it's actually a date time. It's probably why it can't parse it. That's annoying though, right? It should be able to parse a text in that format to date, but it can't. So first we probably have to do a step beforehand to fix it up. Maybe get rid of the 0 would probably help. I wonder if it's date. Is that going to work? No. I think that's just what I did, didn't it? Like, sorry, I was going to change it to date time. Replace current. Okay, so it can parse it as a date time. So that's nice. Oh, look, there's a comma after the date. Is that right? Yeah, I guess it is. So now that I've changed it to a date time, I should be able to just extract the date out of it and then add new step. Yeah, so we can parse the date from a date time, but it can't parse the date from text that's written in the form of a date time. So we've got to do 2 steps here instead of 1. How's that? Interesting, huh? Andrew says change to a date time and then change to a date. Correct. Correct. Wait. All right. Okay, so what did we need? We need the year from this date time. So we go add column. Now it's a date. It'll actually give me the option year and say what year is it? Now it's actually fiscal year, isn't it? Fiscal year. It says fiscal year. That means, and is month number July or is it? It is July. I happen to know from the model that I extracted this from. But
Well,
that's something you have to be careful of.
depends on the country when the financial year starts.
That does that. That's even better.
Never work with children, animals, or calendars.
Or calendars. That's right. Okay. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to assume that all the countries have the same fiscal year start, just like I'm cheating with all these other things. But you are 100% correct. It could be the fiscal month number is different in different regions, and is very likely, to be honest. But typically in these scenarios, when you're dealing with a P&L, the owning country or the country where the head office is basically is going to run the fiscal year. So the fiscal year is considered from that point of view, not from the individual country's point of view. So in this scenario, it's in Australia. So our fiscal year runs July through to June, and so we're going to make it that. And fiscal year does start July through to June in this data set as well. So that month number is July. The fiscal year is the fiscal year starting July. So that's the 2023-2024 fiscal year, if you like. Pretty sure that's right. I hope it's right. This says 2022, so maybe it's 22-23. Oh, I better check. Oof. Let me find it in Power BI. Is it this? I think it's this one. It's like page 3 of this report. Okay. We could just export Australia again. That might be nice. But no, we won't do that. Okay, so let's have a look. How do we test what the fiscal year is? We need to know the actual year and then the fiscal year and then what's happening. Okay. So if we go to date, this literally only has fiscal year in it. Okay, let's have a look at the date table, see what it looks like. Here's a date key. Okay, that tells us something. So we go to, I might have changed the years. I think I did. Doesn't really matter though. 20th of the 8th, 2006 is fiscal year 2007. So it's the end of the period like it should be. Yep, that's good. Okay. And then the other one was the fiscal month. So the month number is month number 8. Oh, but the fiscal period is 02. Shit, I'm glad I looked at this. So month number is actually the calendar month. I thought it was this one. Ooh, dear. Okay. So that is just literally the month number, but the fiscal year is the actual end period of the fiscal year of that. Blah. Okay. All right. So if it happens in 2006 after July, then it's 2007. All right. I need some quick logic for this. Oh, could we do a column from examples? Would that actually work? He asked himself. Let's see. Let's see if column from examples can figure out fiscal year. Shelley's got a formula. Thanks, Shelley. So this is fiscal year because it's after the 2000, so that'll be 2023. And then this is fiscal year 2023. And then that's the same, that's the same, that's the same until we get to July, and then it's 2024. Hey, did it not change it? Can it figure it out? No, I can't. What's it trying to do? If the GL account value is 126391, then yeah, it's wrong. Okay. I'm going to copy Shelley's. Okay, Shelley, this is where we find out if your logic will work. All right, let's cancel this. That didn't work. Add column, custom column. It's going to be called fiscal year. That's all snake case. We're using snake case, fiscal underscore year. And then if date year, oh, date dot year
It
equals,
should be not commas, should be then and else.
oh, here. Oh, yeah, you're using like Excel-y type. Yeah.
Mixing Excel DAX with Power Query.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, try that. Error. Field of, oh, whoops, my bad. Underscore, this lowercase date.
No, in the square brackets, not the.
Oh, yeah, my bad. That's the formula name. What am I doing? All right, this one. I'm surprised we can call it date, given that should probably be or some kind of reserve word, but hey, quick sense check. Nice work. Good work, Shelley. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to change that to a whole number because that's what the others are. And then our month is, it's not fiscal month, it's just regular month. So we can just get the month number, which is much easier. We go here, we go month, we say month, like that. And doop, there we go. Just like that, we have the month. What's it called in the others? Month underscore no. All right, so we'll rename that. Actually, so this is when you start using Power Query a bit more, you just start just clicking and editing. This is the new. So the first thing you do is you start using the buttons, right? And then you go, okay, that created a thing called month. And then you go, okay, I need to rename this. And you go right click and rename. And then you put month underscore no, right? And then what happens is that it adds another spot here, right? It says renamed, okay? Now, if you, as time goes on, you'll probably start to go, well, I just want to call this month number straight off the bat. And to do that, I can just edit this part in the formula. So you just go, well, just create this column right here called month no. And then I don't need the rename step, right? And so that's how you kind of just can make your Power Query life a little bit more easier. This kind of click and edit style thing is kind of the next level of doing Power Query. And then you start to get into like looking at your advanced editor and going, look at this code. I'm going to change this because I'm a huge Power Query nerd. That's when you get real advanced and you're making functions and stuff. It's good fun. Thanks for those formulas, Shelley. They worked beautifully. Now, the only thing we need to do to create this, what we're going to do is we're going to append all of these together. Append is the same as union if you come from a SQL background. We're going to append all these together. To append, we need them to all have exactly the same columns. So we know that all those columns are exactly the same except for one. That's this one in Australia, the date column. Now, if we don't bring the date column in, we can't calculate fiscal year and month number. So we have to bring it in, calculate these two, and then remove it. So we're going to just remove that column. I'm going to explicitly remove it. That's fine. I'm going to use remove columns. Nothing wrong with doing that. The only other little trick I might do, which I just know from experience, sometimes I go into the navigation step here at the very start, and I click this button up here, choose columns. And I say, yes, I want to insert a step, and I select all the columns. And you say, well, why would you do that, Greg? Why would you do that? And that's because it does this, which is a table.select columns, and explicitly selects the columns that you know you're going to use in the final output, which means it explicitly doesn't select any possible new columns that get created in the source data set. Which means that if some bozo decides to change the extract, and assuming that all of these column names are still in the extract, which they should be, it's going to break if they don't, if they're not there, so I don't care. It won't arbitrarily add those columns to my data set as they bring them in. And so that means this data set will maintain its integrity. So it's maybe good practice, I don't know, to do a choose columns. The other way to do it is you can just select them all and right click and say remove other columns. We'll do that with Canada. So go to navigation. I usually do it before the column type step so that absolutely nothing gets brought in. Remove other columns, insert the step. And then it'll just does the same formula, table.select columns, same thing, right? This is just a little trick you can do to protect yourself from horrible things happening. Stop your things from erroring out. And this is one of those tricks you only learn when you've been burned by it multiple times. And there we go. Oh, my remove other columns came in at the end, so I'm going to move it up. Anyway, let me know what you think of that little trick. That's pretty cool. That's clever. Hey. All right. Everything should be the same. So now we're going to take all of these guys and we're going to merge them together. How do we merge? We're going to use this. Not merge, sorry. I said merge. I didn't mean it. I meant append. We want to append the queries, union them, append them. Three tables, multiple tables. USA is already in there. So we're going to add Australia, Canada, France, Germany. And I'm going to move Australia up to the top if I can. Oh, I can't. That's annoying. Because the USA was the one that I selected. It put it at the top, but I want Australia to be at the top. So I'm going to cancel this and do it again. So I can just select one. I don't have to select them all. Just select one, hit append, hit 3 or more. Now we've got Australia selected. We can add the rest. Now they'll come in the order that we grabbed them that way. It's a little, I'm being pedantic, but it's just one of those things. Oh, I didn't say append as new. I appended them all to the bottom of the Australia table. That was a mistake. Also, there's a lightning bolt, but we'll talk about that. So that's wrong.
Right click on the step there and say extract previous. It'll achieve what you want, but in the opposite direction you want it done.
Oh, interesting. You can too. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to redo that step. So instead of append, what I did is I just clicked on the append button blindly. What I should have done is click this little guy, the little arrow here. Should have clicked him and said append query as new, because I want to create a new output table. And now we're going to create a second table. Oh, 3 more tables, sorry. Add them in, add. Okay. Here's our new append table, and look at that lightning bolt. If you're doing this stuff and you're creating stuff using a pro license or something, and you're using Dataflows Gen 1, this is now a calculated table. And the reason why, that's why it's got a lightning bolt next to it. And that means it's a premium only or something, like you can only use it in premium. So that means if you're in pro, you get rolled. The reason why is because it's loading these tables and then using those tables to calculate a new table. And I think you can get around this by not loading these tables. It says enable staging. That's a new thing. That used to say enable load. Anyway, let's see what happens if I turn enable staging off for all of these tables. Will it work? Is that how it still works?
Isn't what you were saying before the equivalent of not setting a destination for the source tables?
What I said before is not the equivalent of not setting a destination for the source tables. Yeah, because I'm not using these 5 tables as in output, right? I'm not going to land these 5 tables into silver. I'm going to leave them in bronze. I'm only going to land the appended table in silver, which means that I actually don't need to load these to anything. And if I don't do that, if I'm not doing that at the same time as appending them, like using them in another calculation, then the requirement for the lightning bolt goes away, which is why this lightning bolt's disappeared now, because I've stopped the load on these guys, which is a way you can get around having to do stuff in if you've just got a pro license and you're doing data flows. I used to do this kind of stuff all the time to get around not having to do it. So if you find yourself if you've bought a premium license just to do these, create these output tables, you can often get around it by disabling load on the things that you. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Enable staging is the Dataflow Gen 2 of enable load in Gen 1. Yes, that is the one. All right, we need a new name for this table because the table's not well named at the moment. It's going to be SAP underscore general ledger underscore all. Because it's everyone now. And the most important thing of all, we need to set the destination down here. We're going to add the data destination. It's going to go into a lakehouse. That lakehouse is going to be our lakehouse none. I think I need to create a new connection. I feel like I need to. Maybe I don't. Let's try this next. Do I select the lakehouse next? I hope so. Because I've already connected into this. That's why there was an existing lakehouse connection. Hopefully it's not going to just connect me to bronze. That's what I was worried about. Loading. In Gen 2, it's possible to stage nothing as you could load results in your lakehouse similar. Oh, yeah. Could just enter data and load it into the lakehouse or whatever, couldn't you? Fabric's so fast. Awesome. Okay, there's a short break while we wait for Fabric to catch up to logging into itself. What should we talk about while we have a break? All right, we've got consolidating. So, this is where I could have shown you my nice P&L examples, but I already showed you them. Is there a difference between the one with the dates and the one with just the numbers? Are they two different types of things? One an income statement and one is a profit and loss or something like that? Or because aren't the terms interchangeable? I don't know. I'm not enough of a finance guy. I'm just a regular data guy. Okay. Oh, look, we can find our lakehouse. Here it is. A new table will be created in Aardvark Finance Silver called SAP General Ledger All. That's what we want. Oh, we have to do some destination column mapping, but we know that this will all be fine. Decimal. Oh, I don't want that to be decimal. Can we make this a whole number? No. Oh, use automatic settings. No, let's make this a whole number. Doesn't need to be decimal. Whole number, currency. There's a difference. Dun, dun, dun. There's an issue. Cancel. Who, I should have noticed this, who has a GL amount value in their data set? Hey?
Filter for rows where it's not null and then check the first column.
I think we could just look, but I could filter for rows where it's not null. Look, it's the USA, of course. Oh no, it's Germany too. Is Australia the only one out? It is. GL account value, GL amount value. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so we got that wrong, didn't we? Was that me? Did I rename this? Is that a problem in my pipeline that I should... Let's go back to the pipeline. I better save the data flow. Publish. No destination. Publish, that's fine. Doesn't need a destination to publish. Right. All right, let's check our pipeline. And the little things that you can make mistakes on, like just naming the mapping. GL amount value, GL account value. Who got it wrong? Greg got it wrong. That's on you guys for not picking that up. I was testing you, as always. Let's rerun this. And then, can I just rerun one of them? Can we remember how I rerun just one thing, or I have to run all of them? I think I have to run all of them. That's fine. We'll run all of them. Oh, save and run. ingesting the data. Here's our pipeline run status. Queued, waiting to be run, waiting to be run, waiting to be run, in progress. It is pretty cool, this stuff, isn't it? Like, it's just so robust. More information than you get when you hit refresh in Power Query. Everything succeeded. That's a good sign. I didn't make any horrific mistakes. Okay, so now we can go back to our wonderful data flow, and we'll have to probably fix some things, but that's okay. What was it called? ERP extract standardize. That was it, wasn't it? The cosmic rule of life is you miss one error. That's right. Data flow refresh quicker when it's turned off staging for all my tables and only load to a rate lakehouse. That's actually a really interesting idea that you bring here. So now our everything's broken because we changed the name of the thing. Are you saying that if we disable load here, Andrew, and only set a data destination here? No, we need that to be loaded because that's going to go into the data destination, isn't it? Yeah, I think I'm right.
No, you can turn it off.
I can turn this off and still load the destination.
Yeah.
Oh,
the one thing you won't be able to do is connect to it as a data flow.
As a data flow.
Other.
Oh my God. I feel like I've completely missed that. But you're right. Oh my God. You could have changed my life. Is that why data flows suck so much? Because people are loading them. I bet you it is. I bet you they're loading all the tables here and setting a data destination and then saying, hey, my data flow is taking heaps of CUs because it's loading all the tables into another memory object to make it available for access as a data flow. You just blew my mind. I'm turning this off. Oh my God, you might have changed my life. All right, Andrew's changed my life, but first, we got to get choose columns. Someone changed the name of a column, and my choose columns found it. GL account value is GL amount value. And then change to column type will probably be broken too, is it? Yep. Isn't that annoying? Isn't that annoying? And then this change column type might also be broken. No. This change column type might also be broken. No. Everything's okay now. We removed the date. Okay, we're fixed. Is this, I can't get over this. All right, we're going to test Andrew's theory right now. And it's probably not a theory because he's probably done it. But we're testing a theory. It's a hypothesis as far as I'm concerned right now. Okay, I don't need to load any table. This is insane. How have I not figured this out? I feel like a dunce. This is why we call it lunch and learn at brunch. All right. See how quick that was? Wow, that was heaps quicker. Finance dev. Oh, we select the container. The container is going to be the silver, and we're going to create a new table called. Why does it know about this table? Because I selected that and then I set destination. Is that why? Is that what? Oh, I'm confused, but it looks like it. Is this all right? Oh, I didn't even check. I'm so excited. Oh, so the data destination. Okay. All right, folks, we're learning here. We're learning. The data destination is unique for each one of these tables over here. It's not one output, of course not, because you could load all of these tables if you wanted to. But this table, to go into the destination, doesn't need to be loaded. I'm checking every single data flow in my whole organization and all my customers tomorrow. Not tomorrow, it's Saturday. Monday, this afternoon, I'm not sure. Publish, people. This is great. what if that, the implications. Okay, so that's running. Well, it's doing something. It's got a little, do you know what this is called? Do you know what the name of this little object is here that goes around and around? Put it in the chat if you know the name. I'm going to commit my changes. Oh, I should have put a commit message. I'm a bad person. No one's put anything in the chat. I assume you all don't know. The name of the little circle that spins around and around that you see on all sorts of loading screens is called a throbber. A throbber. In progress wheel chasing dots. A throbber. All right. ERP extract standardize is running. I can tell because there's a throbber here. You can't. It's an unfortunate name. It's an unfortunate name. All right. I'm so excited to see if this is like. Honestly, I just can't believe I never made that connection. I'm flabbergasted at my own ignorance. I wonder. So glad this is. Look at that. We've got a table. SAP General. There it is. It's loaded. It's loaded. This is also this thing down here. It's also the same name. It might still be populating or something, I guess. Unable to. Okay, let's try refreshing. Maybe one day it'll actually show me some preview data. One thing I did notice is that we should probably add the country because we've only got the organization name, the different divisions. So Central, Northeast, Northwest is actually all USA, and Canadian is Canadian, obviously. And so that's that. All right. I want to close out. That's amazing. I feel like I can't even believe that I have learned something as possibly profound as that, particularly if it does make the performance difference that I hope it will make, because yeah, that would be so cool. I do wonder I got to talk to Mim and see if he'll do some benchmarking against, it's so exciting. Anyway, all right. Last thing I want to do is apparently, according to the powers that be and people who are smarter than me, that Dataflow Gen 2 is unsupported. Remember this problem? They're not supported. We can't sync them. So how do I back up ERP extract standardize? What happens if we have a CrowdStrike and I lose everything or whatever? Now, is CrowdStrike now synonymous with failure of all kinds? It's like doing a Homer. Might be. Apparently, people tell me that you can extract these or use Dataflow templates of some kind. Do we know about Dataflow templates? Is it just extracting the JSON? Or is there like a template, create template situation? Endorsement. Oh, we can create an endorsement. That's cool. No, that's not right. Let's someone Google Dataflow templates and see if you can figure it out and give me a link. Properties. No, I already just. Oh no, that's that. I think it might just
template. I think you get the template if you go edit the data flow.
Edit the data flow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm into
the JSON is the full description of this particular data flow, but the template is going to strip out all the specifics.
So here it is. Export template.
If you want to duplicate it.
So if you want to if you want to duplicate it, but not necessarily have the specifics in there, you would potentially use a template. If you wanted to back up this as exactly as it is, you would export the JSON. Is that what we're thinking?
I'm certain on the JSON bit. I'm not so certain on the template. Haven't used template.
Okay, let's create a template and see what happens. All right, so this is SAP_ general ledger all. Put a description in if you want, but okay, it creates a PQT file. What does this look like if I open it in Notepad? My favorite thing to do with random files. It's not readable, not human readable. It's got a mashup document, an XML in it, a JSON file. So it's got a bunch of different stuff. I presume I can then import this template somehow. So let's just quickly look at that. That's all good. Every time I publish, does it try and refresh? Is that the output of publish? Should I have just closed without publishing? Is that? How can I import a template this way? New Dataflow Gen 2 import template. Export template.
I think the link at the very bottom below your source options on this first screen.
Import from, it's like literally right in front of me. Thank
PQT
you.
Power Query template.
Yep, that's the one. That's what we did. That's what we got. Should be in downloads, right? There it is. Open. Da-da-da-da-da. That's all there. Credentials are required, which makes sense, but just like that. Okay, so now we take that PQT file and we put it in our source control. And then that way we've got a backup, which is a manual way of doing things. And I know it sucks and no, it doesn't make any sense why this isn't supported in GitHub like it should be. My understanding is it will be soon. I haven't heard any secret squirrel business about it though, so I don't know for sure. That means I probably missed the meeting about it. That's all. That doesn't mean anything. But I'm sure that like it seems crazy to me that they don't support Dataflow Gen 2 in their Git integration just yet. There must be some kind of technical limitation that they're trying to work around, but yeah, there you go. Use templates if you need to back up your Power Query in the short term, my friends, or you could export to JSON and do the same thing, but it's up to you. Query steps weren't showing. Oh, weren't they? Should we try that again? Let's do it real quick. I just want to confirm that everything's kosher. Open. Oh no, there's query steps. They're all good. I just was clicked on a query, I think, that didn't have any steps. Query steps are all good. Okay, lovely. Well, didn't we learn today, folks? Well, I did. I hope you did. I hope you had fun. If you didn't learn anything and you were just sitting here going, my God, Greg, you're a fool. That's cool too. But regardless, you know, we hope we'll see you again in the future, being next week. Next week is also Brunch and Learn. We're going to brunch and learn. So same time next week, 11 a.m. For those of you online, we'll see you soon. And then, yeah, I'm going to stop the recording now. So if you're watching on YouTube, good to see you. And I hope you'll see you at the next one. And if you're here with me in person, feel free to hang around. I'll sit there and eat my roll and have a chat if you like. But until next time, we'll see you later.